Just want to talk about the exercises that we went through today. Let's start with your chair again. If you remember, you want to sit nice and back into that chair, so your backside's all the way back, and then you want to try to sit yourself nice and tall, so our feet start nice and square and flat on the ground. You have a very small angle from your hip down to your knees, but your knees need to be lower than those hips. And then you're going to be sitting on your sit bones, so you should be able to feel those two pinpoints underneath your backside pressing against that chair. And then your hips stack on top of that. You square your shoulders up. You have a beautiful long swan neck and a balloon that's going to pull us up to the top of the ceiling. So you should already feel a little bit taller, and then you need to maintain that height by putting on our corset. So if you remember, you're going to hold in the back, the front, the belly, and the ribs. You're going to try to soften them together and down. Remember, it's kind of a pulling downwards towards those bony hips. And once you've done all that, you should already feel yourself feeling a little stronger and staying a little taller. You want the shoulder blades to be touching the back of your chair. This isn't a great example of a chair, obviously, but even with the backside in, you want to make sure you have pressure or feeling coming from those shoulder blades against the chair, so that we don't immediately just lose our posture and sit forward. And you don't want to be too far away from your desk as well. So remember, you want to sit up nice and tall. You want to be able to get the chair's arms underneath that desk. And then you're going to pull yourself right up to that desk. And then where your arms bend naturally is where you're going to be able to put your keyboard. So you want the keyboard nice and close to you, and you're just going to be able to stay like that. And then when you look at your screen, you ideally want your eyes to be looking straight ahead and right at the top of your screen. And it's not that I want you to look at the top of the screen, but it's more that most of your work is going to be at the center of the screen. So if you're sitting up nice and tall and your eyes gaze downwards towards the middle of your screen, you won't feel it immediately, but it has a connection into our necks, which is going to help us pull the back of the neck long, pulling those eyes just gently down at that angle to the middle of your screen, and that's going to help you keep your posture up, which will then also initiate into those tummy muscles. So that's where we're going to sit. Now, once you've been sitting for a while, and you decide that you need to do some of those stretches, we're going to just start with that first one, which is going to stretch the side of our neck here. So still sitting up nice and tall and maintaining the posture, tummies are in. You're going to take one hand over to the opposite side of your head, and you're just going to tilt your head across, and it's going directly across. You're going to take your other arm and let it come down by your side on the outside of your arm, and just pull that neck carefully over and feel the stretch right down the side. You'll hold it for about 15 seconds, just breathing comfortably. And then you're going to let that go, and your head might float a bit. Take the other arm down on the outside of the arm of your chair. The other one comes up and over, and pull that head again directly across to the side, and just reach that arm down. And again, 15 seconds. In a perfect world, you'll do that 3 times on each side. Now, the one that we spoke about that gets the stretch more central into your neck and connects down into some of the bigger muscles into our back starts out the same. You're going to take your hand to the opposite side of your head, and then before you pull it across, I want you to turn and look underneath your armpit. So you're adjusting the hand to the back of the head, and then you're going to pull that head gently down. So you're looking under your armpit, you're still sitting up tall, pulling in those tummies. Hold for 15 seconds, and then bring the head back up and take the arm down. And then do the other side. Up to the opposite side of the head, you're going to turn the head, look under your armpit, adjust the hand so it's behind your head, and gently pull the head down. Pull that other hand down towards the ground, and you'll definitely feel it one side more than the other, normally our dominant side. Hold again for 15 seconds, and then come back up and relax. So those are the first 2 for our neck. Now, if you remember the one that we called the open book, it's going to open up our chest, give us a nice stretch, because if we've been hunched forward, our chests are going to be quite tight, and we don't want to encourage this position. We want to open it up and encourage the upright position. And so the stretch we're going to do is going to open up the chest, and it's going to strengthen the back muscle in the middle of our back, so that we can get stronger in the back to hold us better and upright. So the way that we start is we sit up tall, we find our height, we pull in the back, the front, the belly, and those ribs. Take your arms up as if you have a book in front of you, and that's your book now. Staying nice and tall, you're going to open those arms out to your shoulders. And then as soon as you feel the stretch kind of coming across that chest, you're going to take your elbows and just reach them a little bit further back. You'll inhale forward. Close the book. Exhale, take them back. As soon as you feel that stretch coming into the chest, you take the elbows a little bit further back. Inhale forward, tummy's back in. Exhale back, use the exhale to get that little bit further. And then inhale to close. And you're going to want to do that 4 or 5 times each time you do it, and maybe try to do it 4 or 5 times a day, because that will really open up that chest and strengthen that muscle. And then the other one we spoke about was the back extension, because we're sitting forward too much and we're hunched over. So we don't want to, again, encourage this position. We want to try to lengthen and try to open up that back now. So the way we're going to do that, you can do it in seated. You can come to the edge of your chair and place the hands in the small of your back, just looking forward, necks long, tummies are in. You're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to lean back. You're going to pull the length of that spine. You're going to feel it extending and going in the opposite direction. And then come back to center. Stay tall, tummy's in, inhale. Exhale back. Inhale tall, tummy stays in. Exhale back. And back to center. So again, you want to do that maybe 4 or 5 times every time you do it, and then again 4 or 5 times a day. Now remember, we also spoke about being able to do that in standing. It's a little bit more effective in standing. You have to engage your big glute muscles to hold you. But either will do and either will work. So hopefully that reminds you of what we spoke about. I hope it helps. If you need anything else, let me know. Stay well.